New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Julie and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Yay! I'm so glad we're here. Welcome to the High Vibe Hour. I'm Reverend Julie Moret. I am an author, I'm a spiritual teacher, I'm an inspirational speaker at the Agape International Spiritual Center, founded and directed by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, which is a trans-denominational, meaning inclusive of all religions, all faiths community. When you show up at Agape, everybody's there, which feels more sacred and special and necessary to me now than ever before. And I'm so grateful for your presence.
Wow. Hey, I'm Rev Skip, and I am also an author, a teacher, and I'm grateful to be a part of this. I call this the New Thought Media Network. Is a ministry within itself. So I'm grateful to be here on the High Vibe Hour. It's Happy Friday, and we are here. How you doing this week?
I'm good. You know, I got such a lesson from you because it's very easy for me to be on autopilot and just got to get things done. And we do what we do. And we started talking about, okay, we have a plan. We're doing the year in review here on this podcast. And we are talking about what worked over the past year, what lessons learned, and what do we want to launch into 2026. And so when I sent you show notes for this, you wrote back and you were like, hey, there's a lot going on in the world. Like maybe we should address that. And it brings tears to my eyes to even think how like autopilot I can be, we can be as humanity, and like to take a moment and sink in and say like, yeah, there's a lot happening. This was a
lot going on.
So I really appreciated your consciousness. And so that's why, we had this important pivot to really have a prayer circle for peace, to have a place to like a hub, like let's connect. Let's like tune in.
Yeah, and before we jump into that, let's just do a fast catch up, because I always love this. Is part of my favorite part of what we get to do. We get to talk about tea. We get to drop some tea, and I'm going to talk about this sencha tea that I'm digging right now. You can't see the package because of the light. It's green tea that has been helping around the visceral fat area. Us guys, after a certain age, we have more visceral fat around the organs. This is that deep stuff that lives within us that really keeps men and women who hold visceral fat unhealthy. And I've been really studying the green tea with the antioxidants that has helped me to really find energy without coffee and the other type of caffeine. So I've been really diving into that this week. The other thing that I am not liking at all. It's this new update. The new update on the iPhones, man. And I'm always telling people, don't do the update right away. Don't do the update right away. I did the update. My whole entire phone has gone wackadoodle. And I'm like, it says I'm losing contacts. I am, and everything has been shifted around to different places. So everything in this new operating system is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I'm just like going, don't do the update. But it's challenging me now. I have to be more present with my phone, because I realize, like you were saying, how we go on rote with our phones and this and that. Now I got to really stop and going, okay, where is that place where I used to connect? I used to do a copy and paste and drop into a text to say you or someone else. It's relearning. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if it's a challenging thing. But it's supposed to update to make your phone go faster, but in turn we go slower because we have to relearn it. And
Learning
I don't know
curve.
if I don't know if my phone is actually any smarter.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So today is all about like just taking an exhale and kind of resetting. So we'll just have a breath around the update on the
And on the
iPhone.
update, don't do it.
Yeah.
Wait, give it a chance. Give it a chance. So, what kind of
Yeah.
tea are you drinking today, and how's your week been, sis?
So my week has been it felt really busy, and it felt like, one of the things we're going to get to today is like, what's my place in all of this?
Mm,
Because um, there's so many happenings. There's a mass shooting in Australia, mass shooting at Brown University, just in LA. There are all these things happening. And so it's like, um, I want to take a breath. And I like that we'll have an opportunity to take a breath together and sort of, one of the things that we say in neuroemotional technique is like, do you have a body? Because it's so easy to like think I'm here and think I'm present, but I'm really like up and out of my body. And so I'm grateful that we're here in this high vibe hour, this opportunity to join together, to have a reset, come together to really hold the whole world in prayer with all the different mass shootings and craziness and killings that have been going on, and reset our nervous system. And then also as we move through this hour, get a chance to see like, what is mine to be at this time? Like, what is it? Because we all come in with gifts, skills, talents, abilities. What is it that you came here to be of service? So that's really what's been on my heart this week is like, what's my piece in all of this? And for me, it's the offering today of an opportunity to do some neuroemotional technique to soothe our nervous systems, regulate our emotional brain. And when those two pieces happen, we're able to rise into a clear thinking executive brain. And that's where we can find out like, what's my piece? How can I be a beneficial presence in the world right now? And then on top of that, I'm just doing good old chamomile tea to soothe my nervous system. So
mm. Well, we want to shout out to our Jewish brothers and sisters. Happy Hanukkah. The day
yes.
is day number 5 of Hanukkah, or day number 6, excuse me. And, studying Hanukkah, and we have a lot of Jewish brothers and sisters. Some watch the show, some go back and they go to our community. And we got a chance to really kind of think about the Hanukkah season and understanding how the Hanukkah season and the awakening of the Christ consciousness, it's all in the same because it all comes from one light. But did you know that the first night is for faith, the second night is for courage, third night is devotion, the fourth night is strength, then is perseverance, wisdom, joy, and illumination. And today we're in the place of wisdom. And we get to gain wisdom. So we're celebrating Hanukkah, we're celebrating Christmas, we're celebrating Kwanzaa, and the winter solstice is coming up in 2 days. And I'm so excited because this is where the equinox happen. And then once we cross the equinox, longer days of light. I miss the light. I miss the light. I am just not, I go out to work, it's dark. I come back home, it's dark. I'm like, I want some more light, y'all. I need a little bit more light. So we're celebrating all of that. And hey, Liz, grateful that you are here.
Liz, and welcome, Elishiva. Elishiva, is that? I hope I'm
Shiva,
pronouncing.
yes.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for your presence from British Columbia. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, you had some stuff happen with your phone too this week.
Yeah,
Okay,
see, not the only person.
so we're going to restore some order within our nervous systems. And what I find, my husband's really funny. He says I skits out electrical devices like nobody's business. If I'm in a state, anything will stop working. And he'll see me do it and it's not working, and then he'll come over and it works perfectly. So we're gonna like soothe out our nervous systems today.
Absolutely. And that Mercury in retrograde is a thing. It's a real thing.
Yes.
Because Mercury slows down and has the appearance of going backwards, which then affects our field, our energy, and everything that's electronic is affected by that energy, and it goes wackadoodle. I don't know if we're in Mercury retrograde right now, but I kind of feel like it's like
So
Mercury. Yeah.
yeah, I would invite those that are on the chat, I'm so curious to know, are you consciously aware of being impacted by the news, especially over these last couple of
Mhm.
weeks? And the reason why I ask that is like how I mentioned, I was on autopilot. I was ready to continue with our regular programming, and it was Skip that said, "Well, hey, wait a minute. There's stuff happening in the world. Can we just, maybe we should sink in here?" And so I'm wondering, how what were these last 2 weeks like for you? And and then the next part of that question is, um, for me, when Skip brought up, like, let's do a prayer circle, what came to mind for me is I saw the sister of, I think it's Muhammad Aziz. He was
Mhm.
one of the Brown University students that was killed. And what she said was the reason why she was being interviewed on the news is she said, I want you all, which is us, I want you to know, like, he's not just another statistic. Like, that's my brother. That's my
Yeah.
family. And he was a person and he had a whole life and he had dreams. And so I think to take this moment and get back in our hearts and in
Mhm.
our bodies. And one of the things that I say as a neuro-emotional technique coach is like, check in. Can you feel, do you have legs? Do you have legs?
Mhm.
Like, obviously we would all say yes, if you have legs, but it's like, can you feel them? Can you feel your body? Are you checked in or are you checked out? And so I'd like to just start right there and
Yeah.
just do a body check-in and notice, like, a big full breath. How about that? Can we just take a
Yeah.
breath
And
together? Go,
absolutely.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say for everyone, because not everyone knows what happened. So if someone drops on this and they're going, "What happened in Brown?" I still know people who do not know this happened. So on December 13th at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, there was a gunman that went into a classroom of finals. They were taking their finals, and two, like Reverend Julie said, two people were killed, were gunned down, and they had nine others right now, or actually, it was more than that. It's like 18 people that were injured in this time. And part of this idea that we're talking about, and what's going on, and what kids are saying right now, and some people are so fearful to even go to school these days because this is happening over and over and over again. So part of this work that I was called to recognize is that there is this thing that we can desensitize ourselves. And I know I have done that. I have desensitized myself to gun violence, where I have to be with that and understanding that this is still an ongoing issue. But Brown University, they're shook, and so are other universities, so are other parts of the world in this time. And to happen right at finals, to have it at a time where I think you were saying Muhammad, he was inspiring to be a neurosurgeon.
Mm,
Can you imagine the greatness that he was about to do? And there was a sophomore, her name is Ella, and she was a campus leader,
mhm.
and she was a person who fought for equality for women, equality for gender, equality. I mean, these are people that were making a difference on the planet.
Right. And the MIT professor who was
The
also
MIT,
killed.
yeah.
And then I also want to fully acknowledge all the people that were on the beach celebrating their faith and celebrating the beginning of Hanukkah, all the Jewish people that were killed because of their faith, you know?
Yeah.
And, and a piece I want to loop into that, I saw something on Van Jones's page where a lot of people, young people who had, marched and were very anti-Semitic and hated Jewish people, and they started getting some information. And what this post was illustrating is how our feeds on Instagram, our algorithms will serve us what we
Mm.
look at. And so some of these young people who had developed such a hatred for Jewish people, there was so much information they had never got. There was so much information they didn't know. There was so much false information they were being fed. And we're all receiving that. You know, we don't get
Mhm.
fair and balanced information. And so to loop in human beings celebrating their faith, whether you
Yeah.
believe it or not, in their faith, just human beings, children,
And
grandparents. Yes.
And I was just saying, for me, the miracle, the Hanukkah miracle here, because we talk about the miracle of Hanukkah. You know, one of the things that I became very awake and aware of, there were one of the people that were killed out of the 18 people that were killed, was a Holocaust survivor.
Yes.
And he was 87-year-old Holocaust survivor. His name was Alex Kleitman, and he actually gave his life. He was covering his wife from the gunshot, so he sacrificed his life
Wow.
to save his wife. There were so many. And here's the thing that really is a miracle for me, and I'm not pushing anything away. I'm not bypassing what happened, but the person who stopped the gunman, he was a Muslim. He was a Muslim, and what speaks to this message we keep telling ourselves, that Arabs and Muslims can't get along with Jewish people. Well, that's a lie that we keep
Mm,
telling ourselves, because here's the miracle.
yeah.
Someone stood up and they were there. He was a store owner across the street, ran over to stop the gunman. See,
Yeah.
that's the movement of a greater humanity that's seeking to emerge.
Wow, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
So what I'd love to do, and thank you for what you're sharing, Lashiva. I hope I'm saying your name right. I just read, like, you spoke with the University of Memphis yesterday, and they were hurt, and you didn't even know what had happened yet. So I'm grateful for whatever consciousness you've gained around all of this. And I'd love to take a moment, and if we can join together and pray, maybe we could do a passing prayer, and
Yeah.
just pray for everybody who very suddenly had their lives taken from them over the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks. And I invite you to include
Mm.
in anybody else that you are holding in prayer who's going through a tough time, or we can loop in anybody, and it can include yourself, you know. But I think let's start with those people in particular that we've mentioned in this number of events that just occurred.
And
um
can we bring one more in before we start the prayer?
yeah, please,
It's very
absolutely.
close to us in LA. Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Reiner, and happening on the first night of Hanukkah as well. And this is a Jewish family. And part of my heartbreak is that it appears that it was his son who dealt
Right.
with addiction and dealt with a lot of mental illness. And we don't know all the facts, but we are holding space for the Reiner family. And the reason why I feel so close is I know tons of people in our community that have worked with Rob Reiner, that knows Rob. I have people who've actually been a part of his creative team that I know. So our hearts here in Hollywood, in LA, in this area, very, very. So I want to bring the Reiner family into the prayer as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And and even just the whole karmic agreement of that family, that if it was a son that killed his parents, and the siblings, that just the whole family, like if we could just have a prayer of peace be still for the whole family. And Liz mentioned in the chat that she's been having a headache, and so the whole intention of our time together this hour is to take just whatever is, any stress, any concerns, any of the pressure, any of the heartache that we're maybe not even letting ourselves feel fully, but you do feel it as a human being, to just take this opportunity to do something contributor. I don't even know if that's a word, contributorially about it, to give back, to be of service, and that will free up the energy as well. So I'm going to launch into prayer, and I want to be really clear. This is a trans-denominational prayer. Like, every single human being is welcome here, whatever religious faith, whatever background. It's simply a prayer to trust and know that the very presence of God, by whatever name you call it, to take this moment to sink in together as community, to create community here on the spot, and to be so grateful and thankful that there is a presence, by whatever name you call it, that presence that brings the color to the flowers, that lights up the sky, that has the ocean waves know when to ebb and flow, that presence that is, I call it God, whatever name you call it, divine intelligence, love, beauty, whatever name, just to know that this very vitalizing life force energy is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's that energy that allows a weed in between, in a cement city sidewalk to pop up against all odds. I'm so grateful and thankful to stop in this moment and know that that presence continues to be, and that it is a good presence. It is a for humanity. It is a pro-humanity, not for one group or another group, but a pro-humanity life force. And so I'm grateful and thankful in this moment to know that that presence is everywhere. That means it's where I am. It means it's where Reverend Skip is. It's where every person on this chat, every person streaming, every person archiving, every person all around the world is. There is a presence that is loving and good and kind. And because our lives are eternal, because there is an eternal, everlasting, vitalizing life force energy, there's something about us that goes on and on and on. I'm knowing that that presence continues to love and nurture and support all those whose lives were taken abruptly far too soon. So I'm knowing that they are held, caressed by this loving presence, by our angels and our wise ones and our guides and our ancestors. And I just know that for every person hearing the sound of my voice in this moment, that right where you are, there is a presence that holds you, that loves you, that nurtures and supports you even now. That presence releases in this moment. It helps to drain away any of the headaches, like Liz was talking about, any of the stresses, any of the tensions, any of the things that gets locked in our body, that we become released and free in this moment so we can return to pure, usable source energy and become clear this day. What is mine to be? Oh Lord, what is mine? How can I serve? How can I create? How can I be a beneficial presence on the planet so that I can be part of this new evolution of humanity? So that I can be part of bringing in soothing and nurturance and support and a way from seemingly no way, and a way that people who believe something I don't believe, that we still have space to stand firmly and cohabitate this planet with dignity and respect. And so I'm just taking this moment to know that right where those whose lives were taken too soon in an abrupt, horrific way, we just scoop up all their family members, we scoop up all their loved ones, we scoop up their communities, and we embrace them and say, not another moment, not another day. We're going to hold you. We're going to love you. We're going to support you. You will get through this. For anybody tuning in who has had any kind of pain, just to know that you are held, you are loved, you are supported. You're held, you're loved, you're supported, calling in all angels, guides, wise ones, whether you believe in them or not, just to know that there's a support that rallies around you. So we embrace all those who have lost loved ones. We embrace those whose lives, their physical lives, were ended too soon. We hold them in a knowingness of their eternal ongoingness. And from this place of love and support, like strong, pillar strong support, I pass this word.
And in this moment, I'm simply going to say, and so it is, because that was a powerful prayer. Everything was said that needs to be said, and I just stand in agreement with it all. And so it is. Amen. Powerful. That was beautiful.
Thank you. I want to share something, especially those on the chat that mentioned having any discomfort or, feeling headaches or stuff like that. What I have found is one of the most powerful ways to allow our energy to flow freely is by being of service. And you can be of service in your bed. You can be of service in your chair, and you can do it in your consciousness. Astrophysicists say if you wave your hand in one place, It has ripple effects that extend to the farthest star. So let us use our consciousness. This is not airy-fairy. There is something we can do in our frequency by being, they say prayer warriors, by being fierce in your lovingness, by fiercely knowing that those people whose lives were taken too soon, that I can hold them in my frequency. I can love their eternal ongoingness. I can be part of that divine light that ushers them back into light after light, life after life. That there's something you can do, and you can feel like you're making it up. You can feel like, this is, I'm pretending. But what happens is when you start to do it, there's a moment where you lock in. Like, I had a friend, her daughter reached out to me 2 nights ago, and she was about to find out whether she got into her dream college. Okay. Like, this was a big deal. Like, everything's on the line. She applied early admission. This is the only place she wants to go. And she asked me to do one of my magical prayers, she said. And so I felt pressure, like, shoot, my ego mind felt like, oh, yikes, what if I pray and she doesn't get in, right? The ego. And so I started the prayer like I started this prayer right now. And I sometimes start on wobbly legs, but you pray until you feel it in your bones. And as I was praying, I kept feeling the young girl's energy. Like, she lights up. She feels so much excitement when she's in that city, when she's in that university. And I kept praying, knowing that those who are the decision makers at the university, that they can feel that energy. And I was going back and forth and back and forth. And it was really funny because when they went to check the website to see if she had got in, they decided to listen to my prayer first. But it took me a while to get there, to a place of conviction out of my ego, because these are like fancy people and I don't want to let them down, And so I had to pray until I was out of my ego that it has anything to do with me, to get to that energy frequency where I could feel the energy going back and forth between the young girl and the university admin people. And it took me like 3 minutes. So they were laughing because all they wanted to do was press the button and find out, whether or not she got in, but they waited, they listened to the full prayer, and then fortunately she got in because it was in divine right alignment. And I say that to say, there's something you can do. And it's easy, like it was for me. It was pretty easy to be fairly checked out. Like, I thought I had compassion, but I was on autopilot. I was ready to launch in today and move forward with our, 2026 goals, which we are also going to get to, because your goals are part of what you are here to contribute. And they're part of the healing of humanity. But to take this breath and say, hold on, something that is not acceptable is happening to some of our brothers and sisters. And I want to be present. I want to say, I'm so sorry for the loss that people are feeling. I want to become aware that I am feeling loss, because if I'm not aware of it, I'm going to get physical aches and pains and tensions in my body. So I know we're going to move into a brief commercial break, but when we come back, I'd like to take a moment and we'll do a little neuro-emotional technique, which is an opportunity to make sure you're fully in your body, to soothe out the survival brain, because when we hear there's these shootings, there are things going on, it's easy to get into survival mode and not know it, to regulate our emotions. And then we're going to become aware, like, what's my piece? What's my part to do? What is mine to be in this moment? And when you are doing something, whether it's laying in your bed, praying for other people, or whether it's out there marching on the front lines, it feels good in your body. And that propels you forward to more divine right, people, places, circumstances, opportunities, and events. Good?
Good. All right, y'all. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
A moment.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Julie and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Okay,
And
welcome
we
back.
are back. Yes, we're welcome back.
So I'd love to start with something called autogenics. And this is a practice that big cats in the wild do, like lions, and tigers. You'll see them when they're stalking their prey. They're, every muscle in their body is like so tense and taut. And then when the danger is over, or when the hunt is over, they'll go like this. They shake it all out. They release all the stress and all the tension. And whether we know it or not, our bodies get locked up with that stress and tension simply, yay, Marianne Lockhart's here. Welcome, welcome. Our bodies get that stress and that tension just by hearing the news that's going on, whether you're not watching it, or just the frequency of what's happening in the world, because it's heightened, And so I'm going to invite you, wherever you are, to take a moment and just tense up, tighten up all the muscles in your legs. Just hold them tight. You could do your buttocks too. Tighten up all the muscles from your buttocks to your legs and hold, 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 and release. And do it again. Once again, tightening up all the muscles in your buttocks and your legs, and hold and hold and hold. And release. And again, I want to share what we're doing here is we are doing some practices to become available, fully available. What is mine to be in this moment? It's been a big couple of weeks. There's been a lot happening. And so to take a moment and say, what's mine? How can I contribute right now? And in order to know how you can contribute, the first step is by having, it's like an artist, you need a clean canvas. So we're creating a clean canvas in our physical bodies. We're releasing any tensions or energies that may be locked up, whether we know them or not, simply because we're like live wires. We're like antennas in this world. So we're picking up all the talk of mass shootings in Australia and at Brown University and all these different things happening. We're picking it up. So this is an opportunity to release the tension and the stress of it and become open and available, because you're here on purpose with a purpose. You're here for a reason. There are no mistakes in this life. And as long as you've got breath in your body, there's something, a way that you are contributing to the next iteration of humanity. That's those of us that are here on Earth right now. We are participants in the next. It's like humanity 2.0. What's the next iteration, or 3.0, or whatever iteration we are? We're part of bringing that in, and it's kind of happening with some kicking and screaming. There's some old vestiges, old ways of being that are getting sloughed off. But we're here to find that fresh new skin, that fresh way of being. And the only way we get there is by doing practices like this, where you tense up all the muscles in your hips and your buttocks and your legs, add great big strong fists, bring your shoulders up towards your ears, get any of that crunchy stuff out of there, hold all the muscles in your stomach, in your back, in your face, every muscle in your body, and hold, 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 hold. Let it go.
Yeah. One of the things that I've become very, very awake and aware of, this rote kind of thing we say when something happened, oh, you're in my prayers, or I know how you feel, and that came through my own meditation of really being challenged and saying, I don't know what to do in this space. So I'm going to humble myself. So Spirit, you can tell me and show me what can I do. And what came forth was just a whole consciousness. And that was my practice throughout this week, was whole consciousness. This is a season of lights. In the season of lights, we represent the light. And
Yeah.
for me, it's about how can I hold the light in this space
Hmm.
where people are not in a place to hear, I know how you feel or that I'm praying for you. I'm sure that the Reiner family, last thing they want to hear is I'm praying for you when they're going through a tragedy. As a new thought person or a metaphysics or a metaphysician, my work is to hold consciousness, and it has not been easy. It is not easy. So I've been listening to music like I Am a Radiant Light of God, which is written by Ricky Byers. I've been listening to music around the light. India Irie sings I Am Light, I Am
Yeah.
Love. I've been listening to music for me to shift my feeling tone around this time of lights, this season of lights, and which is doesn't feel very light. It's very interesting. This is an incredible rabbi that's in New York. Her name is Rabbi Angela. Angela, it begins with a B, and I can't recall it right now, but she's a big rabbi, the first female Asian rabbi in in America.
Hmm.
And she says that it's very interesting if you look at the Festival of Lights, which our Jewish brothers and sisters recognize and I celebrate as well. It is done at the darkest time of the year. And she also put in there, these have an appearance of the darkest time of our life. Like things are happening all in this week. It feels very dark. And she was speaking that it wasn't the dark, the physical dark, but the energy of the dark, the lower vibrational energy. And she said, our work is to hold this miracle of love in our hearts. And I got to
Yeah.
say, it has not been easy. It has not been easy to do, but I've been willing to practice. So when I'm seeing what's coming down, I'm absolutely asking myself, am I seeing the light here? Do I truly know that God is there? Absolutely. And that's part of the thing I believe holding the consciousness as we're moving into the birth of the Christ consciousness, the
Mm.
Christ mass, the mass awakening, that it doesn't mean that Christ or the Christic consciousness is only in one space, it's in all space. So what am I seeing when I see these mass shootings, or I'm seeing people have lost their lives? Am I truly willing to see Christ consciousness, love, everything that we believe in the space of the darkness? And that has been a growing edge for me. Thank you, Spirit, for teaching me.
Yeah. I think you're referring to Angela Bookdahl.
Yeah,
Bookdahl.
that's it. Yes.
And I really like that point. And what you're saying reminds me, I used to have a coaching practice. I've coached thousands of people. And one of the things that was very humbling to realize is that we tend to know,
Mhm.
like it's easy to, I've been in so many offices, like, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what to do. But somewhere inside, we
Mm.
know it's about creating the space and the environment to be able to incline our ear and hear what is for you now. And so I want to invite those that are on right now, because somewhere inside you already know what is yours to do, what is yours to be in this moment. How are you able to, through your presence, through your energy, through your frequency, through your loving, through your gifts, skills, talents, abilities, willingness, how are you able to be a beneficial presence on the planet at this time? And just notice what comes up, right? Just notice and see if you can give it um, some acknowledgement, some appreciation. There were times years ago when I would check in, and every time I would check in, and I would think, like, there's something for me in speaking, there's something for me in writing. And then I have
Mhm.
this other voice that'd be like, there are enough speakers and writers, like it's got to be something else. And I kept like looking all around for like, what's my thing? What's my thing? So my offering is to take a breath and check in with yourself.
Mm.
We're in a world that's aching, a world that is misguided, a world that is being fed all kinds of agenda driven, biased news and information. And so, you're here. and it's not an accident. So what is it about you? What do you have to offer? What's the energy of you? What's the light in you? What skills? What's your thing? And we all have something,
Yeah.
like it's really easy to kind of cop out and say, like, I don't have anything. But we all have something. It's like we are this great big mosaic, and it's got all these different tiles, and of themselves that looks like
Mm.
nothing, like, a little bit of patch of blue or green or whatever. But you put it together and oh my God. Oh
Yeah.
my God,
Yeah.
how
And I
beautiful are
think, important thing that you said is it's not about doing, it's about becoming. It says,
yes.
how am I supposed to be? Which I believe that we get really confused in oh, I need to do more. And what Spirit is asking us, what I believe, is how do I be the light? How do I be love? How do I be peace? How am I becoming what it is I'm seeking to demonstrate? And I believe that's the first step. And have I conquered it? No. I'm a work in progress, and I love that. I love being in a place where I'm going, okay, I'm learning to really be. Another place we teach that is in yoga. We
Mm,
teach there's a part of we do a lot of poses, but in yoga, the big teaching is, can I become the tree? Can I become the downward facing dog? In that moment, we're invited to have the yin experience, which is the becoming. The yang is the doing, which is all balanced within each and every one of us. But I believe we're calling forth to be more than to do more, especially in this time.
100%. So let's loop this back. First, notice, do I have a body? Are you aware? Do I have a torso? Do I have legs? Because when there's a lot going on, it's easy to kind of get up and out. So notice, are you aware of your legs? And then let's go through that where you tense and tighten up all the muscles in your legs and your buttocks and your arms, great big strong fists, shoulders up towards your ears. Hold everything, 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 everything. Burn off excess tensions and stresses and let it go. Let it all go.
Mhm.
Let everything go. And then notice, tune into your heart, like, what is your heart feeling? What do you feel now? What do you feel? We had people, like a mass shooting on a beach of people that were celebrating their faith, whether you believe in their faith or not, whether you like them or not, like human beings, people that have moms and dads and kids and grandparents and aunts and uncles, humans mowed down. What is your heart feeling to know that kids studying for an exam? What is your heart feeling? A director and his wife who've contributed untold volumes of joy and entertainment and beauty into the world, killed because there's something that's off. There's something that gets twisted in their own son, and just see if you can tune in. What are the feelings that are there? And then take a breath and exhale. And feel some love, feel some compassion, feel some empathy. Feel as though your own energy can be a blessing at this time. Your own energy can be part of just scooping up, nurturing, loving our fellow humans, fellow humanity, and become aware. What are some of the qualities of God that you are here, that's part of your thing? It's part of your gift. Qualities of God are things like peace, love, harmony, ease, balance, and you can put it in the chat: grace, truth, justice, freedom, order, wholeness, abundance, prosperity, connection, union. What are some of the qualities that you're here to be? And that's your part in the mosaic. That's your, like, little, like, we're this big in the whole scheme of humanity, but necessary because it's not complete without you. So what are you bringing? I'm feeling a lot of nurturance. I'm feeling a lot of like love, just
Mm.
like holding folks. How about you? What are you feeling in this moment? What is yours to be? What frequency?
My frequency, really, it's going back to shifting. Before I can get to that frequency, it's been really, well, if you want to ask about a frequency or a quality, I'm going to go the wholeness, the
Mm,
totality of God in the space, because it's very easy for me to go, this is bad, this is good, this is this, and this is that. And so I'm going to say wholeness is what's coming forth in the totality of love, and not to do a bypass, but to recognize, I really truly recognize God in the midst of this.
mm,
Really believe God is in the midst of this. And that means shifting my thoughts, shifting my thinking, being very conscious of, like you were saying, is what do I feel? And then understanding why I believe affirmations are for me, tool for the mind, the mantra, speaking the word, and then the words and the thoughts become our beliefs, and the beliefs becomes our demonstration. And that's been the work this week. And coming forth, I'm gonna, and I know this is more of a human quality than a quality, a divine quality. I'm gonna say my humanness to be in, I'm gonna say humility,
mm,
because I really don't know, and I'm willing to learn, because we have our go-to, and this was a big thing for me in this. I went straight through our new thought lingo. Oh, but God is all that there is. Oh, love is all that there is. Oh, I'm going to pray for you. I heard someone say, said this is going on. I said, I'm going to keep him in prayer. And I went to, and is that what they truly need?
mm.
So I don't know. So I'm calling forth humility, and I'm meditating and praying. God, show me, what is it I am here to do, because I don't know. I don't know, and I'm willing to learn. And I'm learning, the more and more that I grow into this practice, the more I realize I don't know.
Mm.
And it's a great place to be. It's like, okay, God, you're going to show me now. Show me what I need to bring to this planet during this time.
Yes. Yeah, I appreciate that. And Lashiva's said a very similar thing. So the qualities that she's bringing in are faithfulness, devotion, abiding love, and that you have been very much on a path of
Mhm.
praying to God and praying for those that experienced the Holocaust. And so and
Yeah.
experiencing, that's an important part, experiencing the miracles, through prayer. And one of the things I like to add is, when we notice the miracles, because we get miracles all day, every
Mhm.
day. We get these things
Mhm.
where, you think something and then it happens, or there's like this, we can call it synchrodestinies or synchronicities or coincidences. But what I find is that when you start to notice them,
Mm.
then you start to experience more of them and more of them and more of them. And that's when we start to live, like Lao Tzu spoke about, the way. That's when we're
Yeah.
in the flow of life. And when you are in the flow of life, you are drawn easily to that which is most for you, and the way in which you are most for life, the way in which you are here to be a part of, you know, nurturing, loving, evolving humanity. And so, I think it'd be
And
great.
having, and
Mhm.
also having the freedom to really have conversations about this. I believe that we don't want to speak about this is because we don't want to have feel the low vibration energy of this. We must be willing to speak about it. We must be willing to speak, and those who are ministers or practitioners, to be able. I spoke it on the pulpit on Wednesday night, and it was one of the most challenging things to say. I am feeling like crap. And
Mhm.
it's a divineness in saying I'm feeling low energy from this. And being able to have a conversation. And a couple of people came up to me after Wednesday night when I'm feeling the same way. And I believe coming together in sacred circles, coming
Mhm.
together and with your friends and sitting down, and people you you connect with, and people who you trust to sit down and have coffee and have that honest conversation. I'm feeling a little lost here, or I'm feeling a little sad here, and this is happening. And in that term, in that time too, but I know that there is something that I can do here. And I
Mm,
believe conversation is a huge part of what we're here to talk about, especially in these lower vibrational energy times. The other thing too I want to bring to just light, if you're one of these people, because I believe that there are people in the world, we are in the world right now, who are seeing so much energy, and yet on one side you're seeing, deck the halls with bells of
right,
holly,
right.
and
This is how
you're
I
not feeling it. You're not feeling
feel.
deck the
Yeah.
halls. And then what happens is you begin to shame yourself, because why am I not feeling joyful? We
Mm,
must give ourselves kindness and compassion to know that, yeah, you can simultaneously know that this is a time of the lights and feel like you're in the darkness. And there's nothing wrong with you feeling that. In fact, I want you to honor it. I want you to acknowledge it. I want you to say, yes, I'm feeling this. And knowing that the light is there within you as well as you're going through this.
yeah. There's a really key piece here, which is
Mhm.
Dr. Dan Siegel says, felt feelings flow on.
Yeah.
Felt
Hmm.
feelings flow on. So sometimes I might think like I'm having such a big, heavy, dark feeling and I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to make it more so. It's not the case. When you acknowledge, and fellowship is huge. Dr. Dan, not doctor, but Dan Buettner speaks a lot. He does all the longevity and the blue zones. And the people who live
Mm,
the longest are the ones who have community, who are speaking to people, who are fellowshipping, who are breaking bread together. And so there's something about acknowledging what it is that you're feeling, to take the moment and acknowledge
mhm,
what you're feeling. Because what happens is it could start with, wow, I feel really crappy. And then that moves the energy. And then there can be something underneath it. And then there's something underneath it. And then before you know it, we're cracking open to light. And when we're cracking open to hope, and we're cracking open to inspiration, we're cracking open to whatever's to come next. And so I want to take this moment. I know we're going to close out in just a few minutes for today. And I just want to invite you, as you're listening to this, to, we're closing out a year, and we're closing it out with like a lot of heaviness. Like Rev Skip just said, this is supposed to be the happiest time of year. We've got all the holidays and festivities and all the things, and really big things have happened, especially over the last 2 weeks. So
mhm,
to take a moment and again, exhale, take a breath,
mhm.
and we've got a new year coming up. Who do you want to be in that new year? And let's add a caveat, because oftentimes it's like very ego driven. It's like, I want to be, I want to lose this amount of weight, or I want to star in this, or I want to be this. But can we layer in, how do you want 2026 to go in a way where you're living your best life, and doing so is a way of elevating, nurturing, supporting all of humanity? See if you can get an image. um, I'm just reading the comment. Yeah. Flow
You
came
know
to
what?
myself. Go ahead.
And the word flow, I was recognizing this. The word flow is an acronym that I've been using for many, many years. And flow is faith, love, openness, and willingness. I know a lot of people have a lot of words around, but part of this time, have faith that the light is absolutely shining, even if you can't see it. Have faith in the love that's within you. And the L, of course, is unconditional love. The Christ consciousness is unconditional love, unifying love, love of compassion and kindness. Be open to new experiences, be open to new feelings, be open to new practices, and be willing be willing to do the work, transformational work, be willing to speak, be willing to connect, be willing to come out of your comfort zone. Just be willing. So the flow, and I'm recognizing, Shiva, the flow that you put in there, that word, and I love that word. Powerful word.
Yeah. So So let's do like a takeaway from today. You know, what
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
spoken about a lot about how are you tending to your physical body so that you stay in flow, so that you keep, yeah, Marianne's like, flow is my favorite word too. Okay, so that you can keep your energy flowing no matter what's happening in the world around you. What are some practices? Get in mind, what do you do? How do you be that keeps your energy moving? It also includes, we call it notice, name, and touch, the feelings. Notice, what feelings am I feeling? You know, and if you think you're not feeling anything, that could be numbing out. So just take a beat. What am I feeling? Name it. And then you can breathe, you can touch into it. You can place a hand over your heart and breathe into whatever that feeling is. It will let it flow on. And so become aware for today, like, what's your takeaway about who you want to be and how you want to be in 2026? I am definitely
Yeah.
feeling like I want to be more of a loving, nurturing, that kind of ISIS presence. Like, I gotcha. That feels really
Mm,
strong in me. And so that's my takeaway from today, is to keep cultivating
mm.
that nurturing energy so that we can, you know, we can do this thing called life and do it with joy and adventure and pleasure and satisfaction and contribution. How about you? What's your takeaway?
Yeah, my takeaway is simple: just to be present and to acknowledge what I'm feeling, and to be in a place of compassion and kindness for myself,
Mm,
and compassion and kindness for the world. And that's
yes.
my takeaway from this whole entire week, this whole entire session. That is it.
Beautiful. Well, thank you everybody
Yes,
for
thank
joining us.
you.
We're so grateful for your
Absolutely.
presence, and we're going to
And
continue.
and and I just want to say, Reverend Julie, you're on Instagram, Reverend Julie Moret. That's where
Yes.
people can connect with you, and your
My book
website.
is on sale. My book is on sale on Amazon for half off. I've never done that before. So, What's Your What? How to Ignite Your Unique Brand by Julie Moret. It's half off. Great gift for clarifying and activating your unique gifts, talents, skills, and abilities.
Get your what's your what. What a great gift to give to someone for
Mhm.
this season. And everyone, you can find me at skipjennings.com to make sure that you can follow me and all the things that I'm doing. I'm on Instagram. I'm Rev Skip Jennings. Also, make sure you know we still have 5 spots left for Bali. We're going to Bali in March 14th to the 27th. So grateful for this trip that's coming up. And this is also part of my doctorate program that I am beginning right now. I'm doing an independent study on Bali and the energetic field that's vibrating through Bali and what we do in healing. So it's part of my doctor program. So you'll participate in that if you want to come along with me. What a wonderful day. What a wonderful experience. What a wonderful show that we've had today. And I'm so grateful, y'all.
Yeah. So grateful for your presence. We'll see you back here next week.
Absolutely. Remember, transformation is a choice, and you chose today. Peace and blessings, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.